All right, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how to go get some of this information for assignment 3, essentially asking you to go screen through some ETFs and just find me 5, preferably that are different, so that you could get some idea of some of the differences between the types of ETFs. There's literally thousands of them out there, and they invest in literally anything you could think of. So the hard part is narrowing your search down. Again, I don't particularly care which ones you get, but I do want you to try and find some different stuff. Let me demonstrate how to use a screener. I have logged into Yahoo Finance. You don't have to log in, but anybody can just click on Yahoo Finance, and then if you want to go to the main page, finance.yahoo.com. See up here where it says screeners? Unfortunately, it's slow because they have a lot of pop-ups and or somebody's using my Wi-Fi to watch videos right now. Alright, I want to go to ETF Screener. Notice that they have a lot of screeners in here, but I'm screening for exchange traded funds, and there'll be some defaults in here. The number that'll show up over here, I do not want that, and I don't want a fund family. Let's say I only have that have better than average Morningstar stuff. NASDAQ GM, New York Stock Exchange, added a few. The NASDAQ GS, added a few more. You know, if I've got 600 on here, that's probably enough to get started with. Maybe I could do a price greater than $10. Okay. And then you click on Find ETFs, and it'll bring up a set of exchange traded funds. The default is to show 25 on a page, but you can show more. And the default is to play all kinds of noise in the background, which I don't care for. Let's start with just picking one out that here's one that does treasury bonds. Here's one that does Europe, Africa, the Middle East. And why don't I just pick one at random? The BNDX, Vanguard Total International Bond Index ETF. Click on BNDX and then copy the information. It's going to take you to the main page. I'm just going to cut and paste into the screener. Alright, so the name of the fund, alright, or the symbol is BNDX, and the official name, I'll paste text so it doesn't mess up my formatting. If I want a description, I'd have to go back here to Profile, and in the Profile you can either paraphrase this or just copy it. It seeks to track the performance of a benchmark index that measures investment returns of non-US dollar denominated investment grade bonds. And all this other crapola. It's actually telling you down here, it's tracking the performance of the Bloomberg Barclays Global Aggregate ex-US dollar floating adjusted RIC capped index. That's a mouthful, but there's an index of bonds that follows all that, and that's what they're doing. Okay, well, as I'm lazy, I am just not going to try and paraphrase that. I'm just going to paste it in, and then go back here to the bond information box, and I can get the rest of this. Its inception date was 2013-531. That's May 31st, 2000. 13. So this one is about 6.5 years old. The current price will show up here and highlight at the top, 56.81. The yield is in the table here where it says yield. Is that 3.41%? 3.41. 3.41%. Total net assets 144.52 billion. 144.52 billion. The expense ratio down here where it says expense ratio net 0.09%. Now, most index ETFs have very low expense ratios because you don't have to do anything to track the index. You just invest in whatever the index is tracking. Alright, so I've got all that ash and trash, and now I want to know the annual return. Go up here to Performance, click on the Performance box, and it'll give you, however many years they have, it'll give you the performance. Alright, so BNDX had a 2019 return of 7.88%. In the year before 2.94%, and the year before 2.4%, which much lower than the S&P 500 index number which I provided for you. The SPY is the oldest of the ETFs and it's probably the most widely traded. Everybody uses that to invest in the general stock market, but there are a lot of other ETFs that do match the S&P 500. You can see that you'd be well ahead in 2017 and 2019 in SPY, but it lost money in 2018, and this one did not. Alright, so let's go look at another, go find another one. Some of these I actually know. See if we can find something that's a little bit more interesting. And you can also type in symbols if you prefer doing that. I know a lot of symbols because I do a lot of different stuff. Most of these are going to be equities, and I was hoping to find a commodities one that we could just click on. Alternatively, search for news, symbol, SLV is the iShares Silver Trust, and I happen to know that one is a silver ETF. Okay, so I used to gamble in silver back before I lost a lot of money. We could use SLV just to demonstrate. SLV, the official name is the iShares Silver Trust. If we go to the description here in Profile, it matches the price of silver, alright, and it does that, it's just trying to track silver, alright. Some people trade in gold, others trade in silver. And silver happens to be a lot more variable than gold, which is why I used to gamble. Yeah, I'm not an investor, I'm a gambler. So I used to gamble with that crap on purpose. If we go back to the summary, here I got my price is $16.82. The inception date for this one is 4/21/2006. The yield with this one is 0. All right, silver doesn't pay interest, so the yield is 0. The total net assets 6.54 billion. The annual expense ratio on this one is 0.5%. And then if I want to go in here and look at annual returns, again, this one simply tries to invest in silver. And silver jumps up and down. In fact, if we looked at a graph over the last years of the ETF, you know, there's no trend in there. It just goes up and down. Looking in performance, going in here with the benchmarks, it did 16.11%. All right, come on, 16.11. -2019, -8.76%. Prior year, 3.33% the prior year. Also note that it had some really huge down years. There are also ETFs that you can bet on silver prices going down. So, and then some years, 2010, that was when the Great Recession was kicking in and everything was going to hell in a handbasket. People fled to silver and gold just to preserve capital, because that's where people run to when things are when there's great upheaval in the market. Anyway, that was back when this back here in the early 2010s. That was when I was gambling with silver. All right, so anyway, go out there and get 5 of these things. Save it in here. You want to save the table as Barth _ Michael _ assign 03, and then attach that to the assignment. Also remember, when you're in the assignment, open up the right submission box, and then give me a short sentence or two description of what you found for your ETFs. All right, enjoy.